Can I ask you a question? Is there something about the Bible or about God that you've always wanted to know, but you were afraid to ask? Maybe you thought the question would be perceived as silly or yourself as ignorant for having asked the question in the first place, as if to say, everybody knows that. Or maybe you're concerned the answer might be condescending and it will make you feel about this big and nobody likes feeling that way. Or you may understand the question's a little bit out there, a little bit in left field, and you're concerned that people will perceive it as being blasphemous, although you meant it with all due respect. But then they get angry and outraged at you. Well, that was the genesis of this channel. The pun was intended. I went to Pastor Mike Davis, a senior pastor at Grace Chapel Assembly of God, my pastor, and I said, Pastor Mike, what do you think about starting a YouTube channel where we can answer these questions that people have about God and the Bible? And he said, let's do it. And I said, okay, Pastor Mike, but do you understand some of these questions are going to be tricky? Actually, the trickier, the better. Questions like, is the Bible really the inerrant Word of God, or have people changed things through the various translations to fit their needs, their beliefs, their political biases? How about once saved, always saved, or the unforgivable sin, or the dinosaurs, or the estimate that scientists have made that there are over 100 billion inhabitable planets in the Milky Way galaxy alone. And there's 50 sextillion planets in the universe. That's 50 trillion planets. That's a number I can't wrap my mind around. Is Earth the only place that God placed his worshipers, or has he done it on thousands or even millions of other planets? And if he did, what would they look like? Would they look like us? Would they think like us? Would they worship like us? And if he did, would it really even matter? And Pastor Mike said, okay, let's go with it. I said, well, Pastor Mike, do you understand? People don't want an entire sermon to hear their answer here. This needs to be something you can do in 2 or 3 minutes, certainly less than 5. And he said, we can do that. And I kind of laughed to myself because, I mean, come on, let's face it. Pastor Mike's a pastor, and pastors have a hard time answering anything in less than 5 minutes, with the possible exception of the dinner bell. But he said, let's do it. And then about a week later, I said, Pastor Mike, do you understand there's a comment section down below, and people are going to be asking questions and making comments, and you're going to have to read through these and maybe answer some of them. And he kind of looked at me for a few seconds, and he said, Bob, why didn't you lead with that? And I said, I didn't think about it till now. You have to understand, like most pastors, Pastor Mike's very busy, and just working this whole new segment into his schedule was taking quite a bit of time, but then having to go through and answer comments, it's going to take a lot more time. But he was like, okay, well, let's do it. Let's go for it. So we did. I set up a little studio on stage in the main sanctuary, and we shot about 10 videos to start with. And the first couple of videos are scripted. I had given him the questions. I said, write down your answers. We'll put them on the teleprompter, and we'll do this all professional-like. And after the first couple of videos, I noticed he wasn't himself. He was stiff and straight. He had a real set face. He just didn't feel natural at all. So I said, Pastor Mike, this doesn't seem to be working this way. And he said, I agree. I said, how about we do this? I roll the cameras. I'll throw a question to you, and you just wing it. And he said, that sounds good. Let's do it. So we did. And he instantly became more animated. He would lean in towards the camera to talk. He would start using his hands. It's more inspired. It's like night and day. So that's how we intend to do the rest of the videos. I'll probably at some point put up those scripted videos. I'd be interested to see if anybody can see the difference and point it out if you do. If you have a question you want to ask, you can send it to askthepastor123@gmail.com. If you want to make a comment, if you feel you can add to the body of knowledge, if you can enrich the conversation, please do so in the comments. Please don't use the comments to belittle people, to make people feel bad, or just to be wrong. Please don't do that. Be prayerful in the things that you say. If you don't like the videos, stay away from the channel. It'll be okay. So anyway, thank you for watching this. Thank you for watching the videos that come up. And I think we can have a lot of fun with this. Thanks, guys.